What's up guys, C2113 here, and in today's video, we're going to be unboxing the Maxoak Bluetti AC10 TSA-approved 99 watt-hour AC power battery bank. Alright guys, so this is the box for the AC10. As you see here, we've got the Maxoak Bluetti sticker here, a picture of the power bank. It tells us it's got 99 watt-hour capacity, it's got an LED light, and here it says small and portable, and I guess it shows a image of it going in a pocket, but I'm going to tell you right now, this thing is probably only going to fit in the largest of cargo pants pockets, so don't count on that. On the box, the text is, I don't know who designed this, but it's a black box with dark gray text in really small print. I can't even read most of these little bits of text. So the box is pretty plain, honestly. It just says 99 watt-hour portable AC outlet power bank. So that should tell you. The biggest selling point on this unit, in addition to its huge capacity, is the fact that it has a built-in AC inverter. So on the back here, it also gives us the specifications. So 99 watt-hour capacity battery at 14.4 volts, 6.9 amp hours. It is capable of taking in an input of 20 volts at 2.25 amps. The AC inverter is capable of outputting 120 volts at 100 watt max. Now I do know this has a surge capacity up to 140 watts, so we'll have to test that. The DC output, it's got two USB ports that are going to output 5 volts, 3 amp max. So that's going to be up to the rate of 18 or 15 watts. So that's pretty close to Quick Charge 3.0, but it's more in the realm of Quick Charge 2.0. Type C power delivery port, you're going to be able to output up to 45 watts. It's giving you a working temperature range of 0 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius, and your working humidity and all that good jazz. And it says the product weight is about 2.75, so 2 3/4 pounds. All right, with that being said, enough talk. Let's go ahead and see what's in the box. Alright, so very nicely packaged. So let's first pull out the power bank here. Now this thing is currently available on Amazon for $130. However, at the time of filming this, there is also a coupon for up to 30 bucks off. If that's still available, I'll leave that on screen now. But if it is, when you're going to buy this, definitely take advantage of that coupon. Alright, so here's the power bank, first of all. And I gotta say, if you've seen my AC20 video on the that AC20 Bluetti Maxoak solar generator, you can click the card above to see the unboxing video. I did have issues with it, and I did end up returning it. However, one of my comments, even when doing the review, where I listed all the issues I had with it, one of the benefits and pros for sure with that unit was the build quality, just how well it was built. And I gotta say, it seems like Maxoak has taken that same design philosophy over to this unit, even though it's smaller. You've got that same anodized case here. And in this case, because it's a power bank, it's probably gonna sit on its side. The shape isn't as big of a deal in terms of stability. And you've got the same design with two end plates, and it's providing a very rigid design. I mean, when you feel this in the hand, it feels solid. There's no rattling, there's no creaks, there's nothing. So, pros on the build quality. Alright, let's see what else comes in the box. So, we've got our instructions here. Oh, and we've got a warranty card as well. And we've got a certificate of quality control pass, as you can see right there. So that is good to see that, I guess, in theory, they could just be stamping these things, but at least they're doing something with quality control, right? We've got a warranty card here, so let's see. Does this tell? Okay. Gives you a 1-year warranty if you fill this out, so that's good to know. And we got our manual here. Now, I did take the liberty of reading the manual beforehand, before opening the box. I was able to find a copy online, just because Just by looking at the design of the unit alone, I could tell the interface was probably going to be a little tricky, so we're going to go over that in a minute. The last thing here is it's got to be the charger. So let's take a look at this. Now, do know that this unit charges via USB-C, so that is a big benefit as far as I'm concerned for a power bank. Okay, you got a little bag here too. That's nice. Nice big felt bag. Let's take a look at this. Alright, there you go. And you got plenty of room for your charging cable, which is USB-C to USB-C, and your power brick, which is a USB-C power brick, which puts out, let's see, probably around 30 watts. So not a bad charge rate, I guess, but not super fast. But I guess considering the capacity is only 99 watt hours, the charging time is going to be pretty good with this thing, even just using this brick. Although in theory, based on looking at some of the specs, it could probably take a faster charger if you have one. So like if you've got a charger for your MacBook Pro or something like that with USB-C, you could definitely plug this thing in. So you can see, fits in the bag, no problem. And there you go. Take that with you on a trip, or you're going to be doing some air travel. Great to have something like this. All right, let's go ahead and check out the unit itself and some of the features, right? So there's your power button, there's their light button. So let's first take a look, see if the light can come on without turning the whole unit on. So, okay, there we go. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's low. There are 3 modes for the light. So there's low, there's, I guess, high or medium or whatever it's called. And then if you press it again, there's an SOS mode that will, well, flash out the Morse code for SOS. So, and then you press it again and it turns off. So that's something that you're going to see with all the interfaces I'm about to show you, is that it's very much a cyclical interface. So there isn't a quick access to certain things. You're going to just have to cycle through. And then the next thing I'm going to show you is turning the unit on. So turning the unit on is easy enough. You can see there's 5 bars for your battery indicator. I guess this thing came with only about little over 50% probably. So now the unit is on, you'll have access to your DC power ports here. USB-C out and regular USB-A out. If you want to access the inverter on the back, you have to press and hold this button again. I'll turn this around so you can see the light come on. And as you can see, the light comes on. Now, unfortunately, there isn't another way to then turn off the AC inverter without turning the whole unit off. Unfortunately, you then have to just press and hold, and then the whole unit turns off, including the AC inverter, and then you can turn the unit back on if you just want to use DC power. To me, that is very annoying, and again, I don't understand why they design these things like this. Why is that interface necessary? Why couldn't you put 2 buttons, one on one side and one on the other, so you could just turn the AC on, or you could just turn the DC on? Or if you wanted, you could turn both on. Again, that's really annoying to me, because let's say, you're charging your phone or you're running some USB device, and then you want to plug in your laptop just for a bit. You plug in your laptop to charge it a little bit, but you don't want to drain the battery, so you unplug your laptop and you want to shut off the AC power. Well, congratulations, you can't do that unless you shut the whole unit off. So I don't really like that implementation at all. I think they could have designed the interface a lot better, and it's not like we don't have the technology to do that. I just feel like either whether it was cost cutting or just bad design and engineering, I don't know which one it is, because it seems like I've said before, they put so much effort into the actual design of the unit that I can't think that cost was an issue here. So anyway, let's go ahead and see how this thing charges, because another one of my gripes, which you'll probably hear about in my full review, so strap in for that, is that I don't understand, with all this stuff going on here, you've got an AC inverter up to 100 watt continuous output. You've got quick charge. You've got the 3 amp output USB ports, and then you've got a quick charge USB-C port. You've got a built-in LED light. You've got all this fancy stuff, and yet the battery gauge is still a 5-dot LED indicator. Come on, guys. Why can't you put a small LCD screen on here just so that I can read out a percentage? It doesn't have to be voltage. It doesn't have to give me current output like the solar generator. It doesn't have to give me input current like the solar generator. I just want to know, from 0 to 100, how much power do I have? Not just, let me guess, between a 20% range between each one of these dots. I mean, thank God it's at least 5 dots and not 4. But anyway, rant over. So let's go ahead. I've got my iMudo power bank here. I've done a video on this, so if you want to check that out, go ahead and click the card above. And we'll go ahead and plug this thing in. Okay, it's doing something weird here. I don't know what's going on. Oh no, guys, hold on. So I actually read the manual, and I wasn't sure exactly how they were describing this charging implementation, but take a look at this. The way this thing works, so most electronics, it utilize this sort of 5-dot setup to indicate battery level. When you plug them in, what'll happen is it'll usually power up the LEDs until the last bar that is still charging, that indicates that last percentage that's still charging. It'll keep the others illuminated, and it will blink or flash that one that is still charging. So basically that percentage area that's still charging, like if you're already surpassed the 20 and the 40%, but you're still charging within the 60% bar, that one will flash. This implementation is absolute garbage. I don't know if you guys can see that. So instead of being able to quickly ascertain about how much power I've got to wait and sit and watch how many blinks does it get to before it goes back to the beginning. So in this case, it's going to go 3 blinks and then it's going to go back to the beginning, which tells me that it's charging in the percentage that is indicated by that 3rd bar. But why? Why can't you just make it so that there's illuminated LEDs up until the point where it's charging, and then that one blinks or flashes or whatever? I mean, I guess it works, but this isn't great. So, but hey, it charges, so that's good. So why don't we test a few appliances here? We'll test some stuff. I'll go ahead and grab a phone. We'll charge that with USB-C. I'll go ahead and grab my iPad. We'll charge that with USB-C to USB-C, not just USB-A. And then I'll go ahead and grab some sort of AC appliance, and we'll see what happens if we overload it as well. All right, guys, so I just want to tell you guys that this thing also does have pass-through charging. So that's a really good feature to have. If you want to bring this and then not have to worry about a bunch of extra chargers, you can just bring a single high-power USB-C charger to keep this thing going, and then just bring some USB cables for your other devices. So that's great. I guess the only downside is there's only one USB-C port. So if you're going to rely on that, let's say charge a laptop or something, you can't do that at the same time you're charging this unit, which could be a downside actually. But you could use the AC inverter, but I don't think you can pass through with that while charging. I think the pass through only works for your DC connections. So let's go ahead and try some things here. I got a USB-C to USB-C cable, so we'll go ahead and turn the unit on first. Plug this in, and then we'll plug the other end into my iPad. Yep, we've got charge in there. And I'll use that same USB-C to USB-C cable to charge up this phone. Okay, that works. Let's go ahead and test these USB-A ports. I'm going to plug in a USB-A to USB-C cable. And we'll go ahead and see if we get charge. And indeed, we do. So now, I'm going to test a couple things here. Now, if you'll remember, in my AC20 review video, which you can click the card above to see all the issues that I had with the Maxoak Bluetti AC20 solar generator, with the really poor AC inverter output and all the other stuff that was wrong, you'll know that my biggest gripe was the AC inverter's output. Between the low voltage and the dirty output, you know, those things were deal breakers. So you'll have to wait for my full review for some of that stuff, because some of those things are intermittent, like the dirty output would sometimes cause issues and sometimes not. But first, the first thing we're going to check is I'm going to grab my kilowatt here. We're going to go ahead and turn on the AC inverter. And we're going to check voltage right now. Okay, guys, that's already the first good sign. Look at that. We're getting 114.4 volts. So 114.4 volts is great news. That is well within the acceptable range for a North American AC output. And that is going to have no problem running any devices. So I'll go ahead. I get this fan right here. So first of all, we're going to test something that's in spec, so it won't overload the inverter. We're going to see how that performs, and then we'll test the load to see what happens when the system is overloaded. So go ahead and plug this in first. All right, we'll monitor voltage drop. So this thing should pull about like 12 watts or something like that. So there it goes. Voltage hasn't dropped at all. Go ahead and check our wattage pull. We're pulling about 9.8 watts, 9.8 7. So that's okay. We got 10. It's fluctuating basically, but fan seems to be turning steadily. I'm not seeing any problems with that. About 0.25 amps. So no, everything's good here. So the next thing we're gonna try is a little space heater I've got. Now this is already a low wattage space heater. This right here is a 200 watt space heater. However, when it first starts up, it actually surges to almost 300 watts. And even when it's running, the lowest it'll go continuous is about 196 watts. So we're gonna go ahead and see what happens when we end up pulling some power here. Okay, here we go. Check our voltage drop. And it shuts off. So after a couple seconds, it shuts off. Now let's take a look at the front of the unit because we don't have a screen. Okay, there we go. So, yep, the indicator light started flashing here, and I don't know if this flashlight coming on is just, I think it's just me pushing down on it, and that activated the switch. Yeah, that's probably it. All right, guys, so far I am relatively pleased with this unit. Obviously, I'm going to have to see if it stands up, if I have any issues with the output being dirty on this AC inverter, because again, that is going to be the deal breaker. That is the selling point, the big feature, pretty much the only reason to spend this sort of money on a power bank for me. The LED light, you know, it's nice to have. I'm not going to lie, it's a great feature, but I could take it or leave it. And certainly, right, if they could keep the price the same, but swap out this LED light for a digital display that would read the percentage and maybe even an input-output power, yeah, no, I'd take that all day long over this LED light. So, but anyway, guys, if you want to check this thing out, you know, I'll leave the link in the description. You can help the channel out if you do end up buying it, because I am now an Amazon affiliate. But again, if you want to wait for my full review, you can definitely do that. So if you like the video, give me a like. If you have any questions, comments, or your own experiences with this unit, definitely let me and everyone else know in the comments below. And if you're waiting for that full review on this unit right here, definitely don't forget to get subscribed.